Today Baba is talking about how to not come into conflict. So Baba says that in order to save from any conflict of sanskars, what do we have to do? So Baba says, become a child and a master. Keep a balance of being a child and a master. Now in Hindi this is called Balak So Malik, which means you are a child and you are a master, and you keep a balance between that. So in today's context we will understand the meaning of this. So Baba says, in order to be saved from conflict, practice having a balance of being a child and master. Now you see, all through the day, we are karma yogis, we are operating on the field of action, whether it is the field of service, seva, or the mundane responsibilities. And then you see, in sometimes during the day, or in some places, in some contexts, you are the one in authority. Yes, so you are the one who is the one making decisions, calling the shots, or you are the one who is in authority in certain contexts. And in other contexts, you are not the one in authority. You are the one who is supposed to follow orders. Yes, so this is how the design is. In some contexts, you are the one, you are the master, and in other contexts, you are the one who has to follow orders. And then what happens is, having a balance between being the child and a master means that you should have equal ability to make decisions and follow orders. So it shouldn't be that you're very good at calling the shots and being the one in authority, where you have to play that role, but where you have to submit and you have to follow orders, you are unable to. Or it shouldn't be otherwise, that you are able to take directions and do things, but when you are placed in a position of authority, you can't do justice to it. Okay, so Baba says that this is how you don't avoid conflict. Now what happens is, when you have not been given the authority to call the shots and you start doing that, then conflict arises. Yes, because you are interfering in somebody else's department. And then when you are given, so you are not able to become a child when you should, or you are not able to follow directions when you should, and you are trying to call the shots where somebody else is in authority. And then the second problem arises when you are in a position of authority, but you are not making the decisions, as a good decision maker. And then those who are the ones affected by it, they are discontent, and discontentment gives rise to conflict. So this is very important. So Baba says that this shouldn't be the case. A Brahmin, a Baba's child, should have a balance of being the child and the master. And how do I create this balance? So do you have that balance? Yes, how many of you have that balance of being a child and a master? So I'll give you one example. So there is this, so we divide duties in the center, and then there was one time when one sister would interfere in the duties of another sister. So suppose I've given her the duty that you have to take care of the cooking, responsibilities. And then the other sister would go and say, why did you do this, or why you did this wrong or that thing right. And then there would be conflict, because she would say, when I have been given this duty, then why is this person interfering? And then there is also this conflict about who is responsible for the final result. So this was one kind of conflict. Another conflict happens, and this is a bigger conflict when you are in a position of power and you are not able to handle it. You are not able to be the master. And then what happens is, because of your lack of proper decision making, or your lack of, because you see, why can't you make proper decisions, or why can't you do the right thing? Because you are not pure, so your intellect is not working. So in the world, you see, there is a lot of discontentment with the management and leadership, and this is also a reason for a lot of conflict. But in Baba's home, you see, it's not like that. In this yajna, there is a very good system where everybody is content with the decisions that are being made by the leadership. And why that happens is because there is purity. So when the one making decisions is pure, then you don't do something out of experience, or you are not making decisions out of your bias, or what you like, or you want the result to be, but you're making decisions according to Shrimad. And when that happens, then there is contentment amongst all those who are involved there, and you are able to be a good master. You have been given a position of authority, and you don't use that authority in such a way that there is discontentment and then dissent. You are able to create an atmosphere where everybody is happy to be under that leadership, and everybody is happy to cooperate. And that is being a child and a master. And I will tell you one thing. There was this one time when new souls, those who were not into Gyan, they were not Brahmins, and there was a conference of new souls in Madhuban. And in that conference, everybody was asked one question. So they are not, so dadis had been taking, that time dadis were there, so dadis had been taking the sessions. And then one day they were asked, third or fourth day of the conference, they were asked, so which one would you prefer, democracy or monarchy? So everybody said, we would like democracy, because in a democracy everybody has a say, and we don't like monarchy where somebody is calling the shots, because it gives rise to conflict and discontentment. And then they were asked, okay, so what if Dadi Prakashmani is your leader, or the king in that monarchy? And then everybody said, no, we would love that. We would love it if Dadi was the king in that kingdom, and we would be happy to serve. So you see, this is how a good master should be. That there is no internal conflict, there is no external conflict when you are the master, and when somebody else is the master, you know how to be a child, you know how to follow directions and not intervene. So this is one thing. And how do you create this ability to be in balance? So there is another interpretation of being a child and a master. Yes, so Baba says, because you are my child, you are the master of all treasures that I have. So when you consider yourself to be a child of Baba, and you fill yourself with all treasures from Baba, then you will be able to have a balance between being a child and a master. Because what is it that stops you from becoming a child or becoming somebody who follows orders. When you are in that position, it is ego. Yes, and what is it that stops you from being a good master? It is the lack of power. So when you fill yourself with Baba's treasures, you fill yourself with knowledge, virtues, and powers from Baba. You consider yourself to be Baba's child and keep filling yourself with all the treasures from Baba. Then you become so full that your ego doesn't hurt. You are able to follow direction. If somebody even told you, keep quiet, just sit in a corner and keep quiet, your ego doesn't hurt. You are able to keep quiet because you have been directed to keep quiet. And then if you are given a duty, you are able to make decisions and call the shots, because power to discern, power to decide is a very huge power. So this is something that Baba talks about. And then Baba today talks about the importance of importance of seeing the other one as a soul. And you see, Baba says that, whatever we are trying, so Baba is obviously telling in the context of sharing knowledge, that when you share knowledge with anybody, and then you are not seeing them as a soul, then that arrow of knowledge will not strike their heart. So this is something that Baba is telling us. And we must understand two things here. First is the law that we perceive as we are. Okay? So if you want to see the other person as a soul, then what you have to first do is see yourself as a soul. Yes, so if you are not soul conscious about yourself, you cannot be soul conscious about the other person. If you are in the awareness of your gender, your age, your caste, your religion, or your limitations, your weaknesses, or you are full of ego about what you do or what you have, or some label or title, then the knowledge of the soul that you're giving somebody is not going to strike that soul. It's not going to hit their heart. And this is very important, because many a times, this in this world, there are so many people who are telling other people what to do. Yes, but whatever they are asking other people to do, it's not striking them. Everybody is telling everybody else what to do, or how to be, but it's not getting registered. Why? Because you're speaking from body consciousness. And there's a very important law that no problem can ever be solved with the same consciousness with which it is created. So whatever you are trying to tell the other person, you are trying to change their consciousness, you are trying to change their behavior, you are trying to tell them to do something differently from their current state. And their current state is body conscious. And until and unless they become soul conscious, they cannot choose different thoughts, different words, and different acts. And you cannot make them soul conscious if you're yourself body conscious. This is the law. So Baba says that practice soul consciousness, with a lot of attention and dedication. And when you practice soul consciousness with a lot of, dedication, then you will be able to give the other soul the direction to be soul conscious. And you see, sometimes you are telling people to do this or do that or change behavior. But you must understand that if their consciousness is the same, their behavior will also be the same. They cannot choose a different sanskar or make a different decision in the same consciousness. So the only method to help somebody change is to make them soul conscious. And you see, when you are soul conscious, your sense of who you are, who you belong to, what is your purpose, what are your strengths and weaknesses, that shifts. So when you're soul conscious, you have a different sense of who you are, your relationship, your purpose, your strengths. And when you have a different sense of all these things, only then can you choose different thoughts, different words, and different acts. And for that, you need to help somebody to be soul conscious. So, I remember when I came into Gyan, I had a lot of use of this language. I can't do this and I can't do that. Or, I won't do this or won't do that, or this doesn't fit into my, this is not. So, according to the different ideas that I had, I would say that, I would not like to tolerate, or I would not like to be so disciplined. So at that time, I thought differently. I chose differently. But when I became soul conscious, then my choice changed. I wanted to be disciplined. I wanted to be tolerant. And you cannot make somebody do what they don't want to do. And how do you make them, come to terms with what Baba is saying? Only when they become soul conscious, they like to do things or make decisions which are different from what their sanskars or the dictates of the world was driving them to choose. And Baba says, for that, you need to be very soul conscious. And then when you are talking to somebody, just look at them as a soul and then give the knowledge. And you see, Baba tells us the power of many things which we didn't understand earlier. Baba tells us the power of consciousness. Baba tells us the power of thoughts. But in this direction of Baba, there is also this power of drishti, or the power of vision, that Baba is underlining. Baba says that when you talk to somebody, when you are sharing knowledge with somebody, just hold this vision that this is a soul. Look at the soul, or hold that soul in your awareness and then talk. And do you know that science also says today that the new science, or quantum physics, is talking about how the perception changes the reality. Yes, so according to the new theories of science, they are saying that when I am in a certain room and somebody else is in that room, then the movement of the atoms of that room changes. So, you are, according to your stage and your vision, you are able to change the environment around you. So, the one looking at the scene changes how the scene behaves. So, Baba has been underlining this power of drishti for very long. So, whatever you hold in your awareness, how you perceive determines what will become of it. So, Baba says that become soul conscious, and when you're talking to somebody, sharing knowledge, or giving directions to somebody in a very mundane setting also. Let's say you are in your office, and then you are telling somebody to cooperate with you or help you. And then, are you looking at them as a soul? Because when you look at a soul, you have faith that this soul is helpful. When you're looking at the body, when you're looking at, this is in any other context, you're looking at the soul, you are aware of their sanskar, and that awareness dominates, what you are telling them. So you are, on one hand, you are saying that I need help from you, and on the other hand, you are thinking, or you have this inner stage that this is not a helpful person and they may or may not help me. Or, women are like this, or men are like this, or, colleagues are like this. So you have a certain perception based on the body conscious approach that you have had for so long. So Baba says, When somebody is sitting in front of you, don't think, he's a science person, arts person, male, female, he's educated, uneducated. Don't hold all that in your awareness, because you don't know how subtly it colors your perception. And that perception has an effect on the other soul. And I will tell you one thing. So, what I have experienced on this journey is that Baba is always underlining the power of thoughts, the power of awareness, the power of remembrance of Baba, the power of drishti, the power of following Shrimad, having a timetable, doing everything according to Baba's directions. But when we check ourselves, we are not using these powers enough. Yes, just ask yourself this question today. Whether it is about going about your karmic settlements, or whether it is about creating your fortune through seva or effort, spiritual effort, how much of the power of Baba's remembrance or knowledge, or how much of the power of pure drishti or soul consciousness are you using? How much of the power of thoughts are you using? For example, if you are in conflict with somebody, how much of the power of giving good wishes and good feelings do you use? Or you again go back to, the normal, the conventional ways of setting boundaries and not talking to that person, and, just refraining from engaging too much, or, just avoiding that person when you can, or, just thinking in your head that, they are not worthy of my time and attention, and in a negative way, discouraging yourself to engage with that soul too much. So you see, these are the methods that other people in the world use, those who don't have these tools. But just ask yourself, how much of Baba's tools are you using? So do you, and you can only use that which you create with a lot of effort. So have you created, do you spend enough attention to creating that stage of soul consciousness, to remembering Baba, to practicing this drishti of seeing everybody as a soul, to giving good wishes and good vibrations, making it a habit to give good wishes and good vibrations. So, if you don't create a habit of giving good wishes and good vibrations to everyone you meet, then how can you have the ability to give good wishes and good vibrations to those who have wronged you? That's not going to happen. So, you will, when the time comes, you will act out of habit, not out of knowledge. So, the knowledge is being given to us so that we apply this knowledge, we practice being soul conscious, practice accumulating power from Baba, practice having a soul conscious drishti, practice giving good wishes and good feelings. And when you practice this, it becomes a habit. And those habits will come to your rescue when there is a karmic settlement or an unfavorable situation that has come up in front of you. And you will be able to use these tools and overcome that. Or you will be able to use these tools and do seva. So, seva also is not just giving knowledge or, just sharing what Baba shared, but seva is also being soul conscious and looking at the other soul and stabilizing them in soul consciousness with the power of your own stage, with your drishti. That is seva. So, when somebody is very sick, then medicines don't work, injections work, right? Yes. So, it is recommended that they will be given injections. Now, Baba says that when a soul comes to you and that soul has been in body consciousness for very long, then your words are like medicine. They will not be able to cure that soul or give that soul enough, spiritual health to recover from that state of body consciousness. but your drishti will work like an injection, and your vision of soul consciousness will work like an injection, and it will make the soul realize their qualities and their purpose, and whatever you tell them will strike, and they will be able to get it, that I have to I have to be this person who has to take the responsibility of creating a good fortune and a better world through my own actions. So this is something that Baba is telling today, and this injection we have to apply to every soul. And Baba says the biggest challenge is this is a male and this is a female. So when we are with the opposite gender, because there's so much of gender consciousness, that when you are with the opposite gender, you never forget this is somebody of the opposite gender. It's so much there in your awareness. So Baba says, when the souls who are in female bodies are talking to souls who are in male bodies, or otherwise, you should be having the ability, you should have practiced so much that you're not in the awareness that this is a brother or a sister. You are in the awareness that this is a soul. And only then will that arrow strike. So this is something that Baba talks about. And then Baba talks about today something very interesting. Baba says, you are the moth and the flower. And Baba says, true flowers are those who are full of the fragrance of knowledge, and true moths are those who surrender and sacrifice themselves to Baba. And Baba says something very nice, that they are both the same thing. Because if you are not a true moth, if you are not somebody who has surrendered to Baba and sacrificed themselves to Baba, then you cannot fill with the fragrance of knowledge. Knowledge is not color, it's fragrance. So do you emit the fragrance of knowledge? Yes. So does somebody get the feeling that you're knowledgeful, not from your words alone, but your vibrations and your being and your personality? Because Baba says that when you surrender yourself and sacrifice yourself to Baba with complete body, mind and wealth, then you become somebody who imbibes knowledge, who becomes the embodiment of knowledge. So knowledge we study that you are a soul, you're not the body, you're not what you have, what you do. But are you in that stage where not just you think, but other people can also feel that they are not attached to the body or to the people around or to whatever they have and they do? Can everybody feel that? Or it's a point of knowledge, but it's not your stage. And how does that become our stage? So Baba says, through sacrifice. And when we come to Baba, becoming Baba's child means you make a contract with Baba, that Baba, everything that I have belongs to you. Your body, mind, wealth, everything belongs to you. My Baba, everything that I call mine belongs to you. And when you make that contract, what is the method through which you keep that contract? So you submit your whole account to Baba. Whatever time you have, whatever energy you have, whatever wealth you have, whatever thoughts you have, you submit all your account to Baba. And then surrender means you take directions and use it. Yes, you take directions and use it. How many children are sitting in this class who have, who give their whole timetable to Baba? We don't know what you do during the day. What is your timetable? Yes. And that means that you have not surrendered it to Baba. Yes. So Baba should know. Baba should know means your teacher should know. What is your timetable? What time you get up? What time you do what? And then what is your free time? And then what do you do in that? And then there you should ask, what this time to this time I'm free. So if there is, there is not a karmic settlement, and that also, even if you have a karmic settlement, take directions and do it. Even if there is a guest, you have to devote extra time to that guest. Ask, this guest has come, can I use this time from seva and devote it to the guest? This is surrendered children. Do you understand? So that is why Baba says we are all number wise. Everybody is not a true moth or a true flower. And when you surrender your body, mind and wealth, and about wealth, nobody gives their account of what you have. Baba doesn't say that you give away everything to Baba. But whatever you have, you should give your account of what you spent out of that wealth. On what did you spend it? Or you want to spend it on something, ask, that this is the expense I want to make. Is this okay? It's not that, when you say this is mine, you spend everything, your time, your energy, your wealth, your thoughts. Are you taking directions from Baba and thinking about, spending your mind, or you are just, thinking about people, places and things all day and not even reporting it to Baba? Yes, so if you're not reporting, how will Baba give you directions? And Baba gives directions in the Murli. But every student has been allotted teacher, right? Why? Because the teacher will give you directions which are unique to you, which are according to your Purusharth and your stage. But if you don't surrender your chart, how will you get directions? And chart doesn't mean just, the chart of the day, but body, mind and wealth all have to be in the chart. And Baba says, if you're not this moth or this fragrant flower, then what happens is Maya deceives you. Yes, and then those children who, surrender, Baba says only poor children surrender. Yes, and poor doesn't mean that you'd have nothing, but you have no ego of what you have and what you do. Those are the children who surrender like this. And Baba says those children, who surrender, they will receive touching in the end. And they will be able to be in Baba's home in the end. And they will have this fortune that when everything is being destroyed around them, Baba will keep giving them beautiful visions of the world that's coming, and they will be entertained by that, and they will leave their body in that remembrance. So this is also something that Baba is underlining today. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything? I would request the ones who have joined today, Pandurang Bhai, Achyuta Ben and Shasi Ben, to share if you want to share anything. Would you like to? No. So anybody else wants to share anything, or even if you want to sometime later, please do. So please share anything anybody wants to.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
This point which Baba has underlined today about being soul conscious and coming in interaction with the same consciousness to others also. I have experimented with this, and I feel that without being soul conscious, we will not be able to sustain any relation.
Correct.
How much effort we put, it will not work. Only soul conscious will sustain the relationship. Correct. And we are also stopped from being triggered many times.
Right.
We are able to understand their perception also.
Correct.
And able to adjust and balance the situation. Sometimes we come little softer down, and where there is need, we take the authority also.
Correct.
But Didi, today in Avyakti Ishare, Baba said about don't be only Bhola, you also become Shakti Swarup.
Yes.
I would like to hear about this in little detail. Can you please?
So Baba says that, you should have a balance between being innocent and being the Master Almighty. That means that, you should be innocent only from that which is wasteful. So when you are Master Almighty, you have the discernment about what you should be, what you should let go, what you shouldn't think about, or what deserves time and attention, what deserves to be acted upon, what deserves to be ignored and let go. So you should have that kind of. So when we say innocent, it doesn't mean foolish. And what is the difference between foolish and innocent? So the one who is foolish is innocent from everything. And the one who is innocent is only innocent from that which is wasteful and vicious. So when you are innocent from that, you don't understand that, you're not able to analyze that. You don't put your head too much into that which is wasteful and vicious. But you have the capacity to understand, analyze, and act upon that which is worthy of your attention. Then there is a balance between being innocent and being full of all powers. Okay. Okay, then anybody else wants to share anything? Anji.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, when I do the checking of how much soul consciousness I have practiced during the day, I usually find that I'm like on a seesaw. Sometimes it's complete body consciousness, and sometimes I definitely feel that, especially when I'm alone and during silence, I'm in soul consciousness. So it's like kind of, sometimes I feel that there are two personalities of the same me as an individual. So how do I, increase this when I'm in contact with other people, especially? Then when I'm talking to other people, then I usually forget that this practice has to be there.
Okay, so you have discerned that it is usually when you come into contact and communication that you become body conscious. So then what you have to do is you have to practice the pause. So before every contact, every communication, even when you are receiving a call or calling somebody, even if it's over phone, just take a pause, 2 seconds, and just come to soul consciousness and then do it. Okay, because you're practicing soul consciousness. So just pay that attention and that will change everything. Okay, Om Shanti. Yes, Menika, when?
Om Shanti, Devi.
Om Shanti.
Today I had a thought that I was thinking that Baba says that once you come into the corporeal world, you cannot go back unless I come and take you. And he says that this is the same for all souls. Everybody has to go back only with me, because everybody's home is the pure world. And so I thought the original quality of me as a pure soul is the same for everyone. Baba says he's going to take everyone back home. So my home is the same home, all souls. So just as I am pure, so are they in their original form. And so when I come into contact with them, I'm able to be a little bit more like, yes, this is originally a pure soul. Because it's from the same home, same father. And so it helps me to do that.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Om Shanti. Sasiben, you want to share something? Okay. Please, Hanji. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti ji.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I enjoyed all your classes. And today I learned that how the relationship with Baba is. Like as you, children listen to us and I listen to my elders who really cares about me.
Correct.
Yeah, so that is the main lesson that I learned. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Om Shanti.